We can use also this tube.
This is the beginning of a 3-year story. It's about research into nanotechnology. A consortium of 15 scientists are beginning to develop a new kind of chemistry. Their story will be unfolded before you, the viewer, as week by week, month by month, they post their video diaries on this website. The idea is this. They take nanotubes and build metal structures of just a few atoms onto the tube's surface. A nanoscale metal knob on a nanoscale tube, nano squared. We are in the realm of the smallest structures it is possible to build. Billions of these nanotubes are made into a paste, and that is spread thinly onto some electrodes that are printed on a small square of plastic. They believe they can develop this device into the smallest, cheapest and most sensitive device ever made to detect gases, any gases, from dangerous benzene to the smell of ripe apples. But to get there means some groundbreaking fundamental research on 2 fronts. On the experimental front, 3 teams are beginning to learn how to control the construction of the metal bumps. They're experimenting with plasmas to get the precise structure they want. On the theoretical front, there are 2 teams calculating from the most basic physics what these structures ought to do. Calculations involving big computers to find the exact solution to the Schrödinger's wave equation, to predict what final shape these metal atoms will take up when they attach to nanotubes. It's a European Commission-funded project.
So I'll tell you something about the Commission requirements and procedures. Everybody of you is linked to the Commission by a legal contract with obviously legal obligations.
The kick-off meeting brought the 8 teams together, most meeting each other for the first time.
I like to say that you should consider this as an informal meeting. I hope that within the next 2-3 years we'll become very good friends, because we have been working together to reach some nice scientific goals. So this is informal meeting.
And we're at the Institute of Materials in Nantes. It's a regional...
Chris Yules leads a theoretical group in France.
Our speciality is very much looking at the point defects and the dislocations, how they move. So I'm hoping that there'll be quite a lot of exchange of information, so we can feed defect models up to JT and there'll be metal stuff coming back. We do a little bit of code development, but not fundamental code.
Mark Delgado is an industrialist who will market the new device. He's based in Barcelona.
The company it was founded by Joaquim Delgado, who is my father. This is my target for this project. I want to be at least at this size. If it's possible, smaller, much better.
The Louvain group is coming from the University of Catholic of Louvain. So this unit is divided in 3 main scientific teams. The first one is...
Jean-Christophe Charlier leads the second theoretical group in Louvain-la-Neuve.
The second one is focusing on physical chemistry of surface and interface, and we belong mainly to this condensed matter theory. Among these 7 postdocs, you have Zayla, and we will work in the project.
Vega was set up to promote science, and we started by...
This is Jill Watson, the head of Vega.
Lectures.
It's a charity set up to allow scientists to communicate directly to the public, particularly through TV and internet.
We're developing a section of the website just for this particular project, and we're making 2 documentaries. One at the beginning, so this is what we're doing this week. We're recording a bit about how you feel at the beginning of the project and what sort of ideas you've got and ambitions. And then we will also make another documentary at the end.
I think we had a really interesting meeting yesterday, and this is me, about video diaries, and an ex-BBC filmmaker constructing this first video report. And the reason I am on the team is because of their decision to tell the public about their science as it happens. I pioneered video diaries at the BBC. Will be produced and how it will look and who will have access. You'll see these people reporting their individual successes and failures by tuning in to the Vega website, along with the PhD students. This is the night before, a get-together to celebrate the winning of the research grant. And the groups have a chance to experiment with video cameras. Earlier in the afternoon, I gave them some video diary training. They will each have their own camera. They were excited by the idea, but somewhat apprehensive about the time it would take up. I think they are some of the most interesting people I've come across, but you'll be making your own mind up about them. We went to talk to the top men at the European Commission. I wanted them to get behind this web experiment in going public and commit themselves to it. One of the features of this project is to keep the public informed as it goes on.
Well, this is a tremendous idea. Certainly all the recent projects that we've been funding the ones that have got through, have addressed this whole issue, if you like, of publicity, of public relations, of telling people what they're doing, because in the past there's been too much of a divide about the scientists on one side and the general public on the other, and this is no good for anybody. I think we've got to have proper dialogue. And one of the features of this project that appealed to the original evaluators was this regular updating, this communicating all the time. So I personally, and I'm sure the rest of the team, think this is a very excellent idea. More projects should do that.
But soon it became a film day like nothing I had done before. It was like riding into town with a Magnificent Seven. The scientists decided they wanted to interview the men of power too.
So tell us what you do about what is your background. Did you do a science degree?
Yes, I did. Yes, my degree was in material science, and I did a PhD in material science in the University of Sussex, which is one of the British universities.
Do you see yourself more like a policeman telling what is right, what is wrong, or more like a mother taking care of everyone being happy?
Well, also in one of my last project meetings, it was said, all the inspectors coming. In my work before, I was inspecting nuclear installations. In this job, I wouldn't see my work as an inspector. We have to stimulate science, and the scientists have their own interest to do nice projects, to run good projects and to get results.
Where's the balance of power in this between you and the projects? Who actually finally makes the decisions? And
the decision taking, well, it's us in the Commission. It's our work programme and we decide.
You put your stamp on it, yeah.
We do. We put our stamp on it.
One of the stakeholders that we haven't really talked about is the public, and I wondered if you can envisage any way that the public can be more involved in all this decision making. I mean, is there any way that the public get a voice in this process?
For the general public, it would be through their national representatives. It would be also possible through associations of industry or of small and medium enterprises.
They decided to interview me, to ask me what sort of person I was and what I was doing with the project.
The project.
Most of our experience here that you're looking at is making documentary films. But I'm quite sure there's something more interesting and more revolutionary and more important to do. The real authors of this and the real hosts of this and the real producers of this should be all of you. I mean, something in my guts tells me it ought to be about quarrels you have, about rewards that you have, about when things go well, about if you're a passionate violin player, we ought to see you playing the violin, and we ought to see what life of you 8 scientists is like. That's what it seems to me, but that's a big presumption on my part.
Tell us a bit about you. Are you married?
Yes, I am. This is my first wife. I say first wife just to keep her on her toes. They're a bunch of enthusiastic young people, and they've been thrown together by the project. They're starting to find out about each other and hoping the sparks between them will lead to exciting new breakthroughs. They don't really know where the ride will take them, but there's bound to be friction and disappointments. But they're also a bunch of experts, each in their own field. And although there's a lot they know, there's a lot more they don't. There's bound to be things that don't work, bound to be red herrings on the path. But unlike any other science project, they're going to attempt to take you, the public, along with them on the journey and to share the experience of doing science.
It's, I don't know, in this case I would see it's like the glue that keeps together these things.